towards rebuilding the trust or continuing with the trust. One is R&D budget. I think it has very clearly been brought out by everybody that we need to invest more. If I think people from Punjabi community will understand something called Daswant, that we said 10% of our earnings should go back towards the society. So something like that CSR has been started. I think something on those lines we should start, that if I'm earning so much of money should go towards R&D, towards defense of the nation. That every industry has to come up with some plan. And we need to have, thank you, madam. We need to have, I think clapping last ke liye chhodte hain, meri coffee reh jayegi nahi to. Adequate, impetus toward disruptive technology, and also, though it was said very clearly that, incentive doesn't get you people, it is the environment that gets you people. But I think to some extent we need to create some incentive, some good environment so that we get the best people for the job. We are not able to get the best people for the job. People are going outward, they are going and working for some other countries. I think we need to retain them here by giving them good payment, good incentive, good work environment, maybe some, recognition. Timelines is a big issue. That is where that Vachan part comes in. So once a timeline is given, not a single project that I can think of has been completed on time. So this is something where we have to look at. Why should we promise something which cannot be achieved? While signing the contract itself, some of the times we are sure that it is not going to come up. But we just sign the contract. Uske baad dekhenge kya karna. Obviously, then the process gets vitiated. Capacity building, I've already talked about. संयम की बात करी थी RM ने, restraint. So even defense forces have been, keeping this restraint of not calling, a black sheep. We've been trying to encourage people, but somewhere it will break down someday. So I'm sure let's stretch the thread, the elastic to that process where it is not breaking down. As far as keeping national interests first, I think we have talked about. And with this now situation where we are going, where we are opening up towards the private industry, I'm just reminded of a quote, something that Winston Churchill has said, and I'm going to quote him. To each there comes in their lifetime a special moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered a chance to do something special. What a tragedy if that moment finds them unprepared for that which could have been their finest hour. So my request to you all will be, this is something that can become your finest hour. You have a tap on your shoulder. Please rise to the occasion. Come together. If today somebody is manufacturing world-class cars, world-class electronic, world-class equipment in the civil domain, why can't that industry or some of the industry join together and say, we will make world-class military equipment, even if it doesn't give me the profit that I'm looking for. Let's rise together to make this nation a great nation. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. And Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so we just heard there just a short while back at the CII event, Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh is speaking there and talking about Operation Sindoor, and has said that Operation Sindoor has given a clear idea of what to expect when it comes to technology and what are the gaps which have to be fulfilled when it comes to technology. And we will be able to go ahead and take on the challenges head on. All right. Let's move ahead, viewers, right now, because we're getting some more updates coming in right now, where we see the AIMIM Chief Asuddin Owaisi, who's part of the all-party delegation led by BJP MP Bejayant Panda has said that Pakistan should be put back on the FATF grey list to curb the funding of terrorist groups. He claimed that terrorist organizations are being trained in Pakistan and are trying to create unrest in India. OIC also pointed out to a photo showing a US designated terrorist going ahead and sitting next to Pakistan's army chief, saying it shows clear links to terrorism. So OIC, who's part of the all-party delegation led by BJP MP, Panda said that Pakistan should be put back on the FATF grey list. And I want to go ahead and play out that reaction coming in from AI-MIM chief.
So the best thing now which the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Kuwait government and the Bahraini government, we have requested them when the delegation had met that they must ensure that Pakistan must be brought back in FATF grey list. That is where we will be able to control this terror financing of all these terrorist organizations. And do you know that when this person was made the field marshal in Pakistan, a US designated terrorist called Muhammad Ehsan was sitting right beside the field marshal. So this is complete. He is a US designated terrorist called Muhammad Ehsan, and there are photographs him shaking hands with this field marshal. So there is a clear-cut evidence of Pakistan's involvement. These terrorist groups are prospering over there. They are being trained over there, and their whole task is to destabilize India, to create more Hindu-Muslim riots in India.
And Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has sent a very strong message to Pakistan, lauding both India's strategy and response against terrorism. He has also gone on to say that wherever there will be talks, it will be only on terrorism and POK. Let's listen in.
आतंकवाद का कारोबार चलाना कास्ट इफेक्टिव नहीं है। साथियों, आतंकवाद का कारोबार चलाना कास्ट इफेक्टिव नहीं है, बल्कि उसकी एक भारी कीमत अदा करनी पड़ सकती है। इसका अंदाजा आज पाकिस्तान को हो चुका है। फिर से मैं दोहराना चाहूंगा, तो आतंकवाद का कारोबार चलाना कास्ट इफेक्टिव नहीं है, बल्कि उसकी एक भारी कीमत अदा करनी पड़ सकती है। इसका अनुमान आज पाकिस्तान को हो चुका है। हमने आतंकवाद के खिलाफ भारत की स्ट्रेटजी और रिस्पांस दोनों को रीडिजाइन और रीडिफाइन किया है। हमने पाकिस्तान के साथ अपने इंगेजमेंट और स्कोप ऑफ डायलॉग को रीकैलिब्रेट किया है। अब जब भी बात होगी, केवल आतंकवाद पर बात होगी, पीओके पर बात होगी और किसी दूसरे मुद्दे पर पाकिस्तान के साथ बात नहीं होगी। वो दूसरा मुद्दा कौन हो सकता है जिस पर पाकिस्तान बात करना चाहेगा, वो आप जानते हैं। साथियों, मैं मानता हूं कि आज पाक ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर के लोग हमारे अपने हैं। आप मानते हैं ना? पाक ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर के लोग वो हमारे अपने हैं, हमारे परिवार का हिस्सा हैं। हम प्रधानमंत्री के श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत के संकल्प के लिए पूरी तरह से प्रतिबद्ध हैं और हमें यह पूर्ण विश्वास है कि हमारे वो भाई जो आज हमसे भौगोलिक और राजनीतिक रूप से अलग हैं, वो भी अपने स्वाभिमान, आत्मा की आवाज और स्वेच्छा से भारत की मुख्य धारा में कभी न कभी जरूर वापस लौटेंगे।
All right, viewers, getting you back to whatever is coming in right now on Republic TV. This is the event, the CII event, where we see that we are seeing the Navy chief and the Air Force chief and Rajnath Singh also speaking there a short while back. So we will try to get you those pictures and what is happening in the event in a short while from now. But Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has also
to make in India by DPSUs PSUs, MSMEs, and many startups. The success of our indigenous platforms and systems has extended Make in India to Trust in India. And the theme of this year's summit, Building Trust, India First, is most apt and timely.
We just heard the inspiring inaugural address by Honorable Raksha Mantri in the plenary session. I have no doubts that all of you would have taken note of his vision and expectation. So in the next 9 minutes or so that I have been given, it will be my endeavor to provide you with an overview of what and why we envision in the Navy in terms of harnessing the strength of our industry through collaborations and partnerships. To start with, let me clearly state once again that India was, India is, and India will always be a maritime nation. Not just by design in terms of geography, which all of you are aware, but also by destiny in terms of our future growth. The strategic maritime identity, what I just described, was aptly articulated by our Honorable Raksha Mantri last year. And I quote him, "We were once known as a landlocked country with seashores, but now we can be seen as an island country with land borders," unquote. If you look at India's history, we have a rich maritime past and an unbroken seafaring tradition. Remarkably, all of you are aware, we are the only country in the world with an ocean named after us. Today, India is once again realizing its rich maritime potential, and the apex level vision and policymakers are aware, and their statements are reflective of this broader maritime renaissance. Our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, had made a clarion call of Sagar in 2015, security and growth for all in the region. And building on this legacy over the last 10 years, the vision has been rightly elevated to Mahasagar, or mutual and holistic advancement of security and growth across regions. This year, again in Mauritius. To my mind, this is reflective of India's growing stakes and steadfast conviction that our destiny as a nation lies in reclaiming our oceanic opportunities as the foundation of our future prosperity and global influence. As we look to become the third largest economy in the next few years, the seas will remain our engines for growth. I say this because amongst a plethora of data, I'll just quote two: 95% of India's trade by volume and 88% of our energy comes from the seas. Rest, you can do your math. So India's economy is and will remain dependent upon the seas, and by corollary, our future prosperity will be driven by, at, and from the seas. To safeguard our interests in the oceans and ensuring maritime security, the Indian Navy is committed to modernization through focused capacity building across all 5 domains: surface, subsurface, air, space, and cyber, and that is where all of you come in. So like I said, in building these capacities that I enunciated, our engagement with all of you, the industry, will be a key component in the years ahead. So here in the Indian Navy, we have adopted 3 mantras of indigenization, innovation, and integration. Firstly, the indigenization is our core priority. It has always been for now more than half a century. We are committed to becoming a fully Atmanirbhar force by 2047. It is a matter of immense pride for us as a nation that India is one of the 6 countries in the world that can design, build, and operate both aircraft carriers and SSBNs at sea. We continue our efforts to be self-resilient and reliant in other critical domains, and we in the Navy will continue to push you, that is you as industry. Innovation is Indian Navy's DNA. Stephen Johnson, in his book, Where Good Ideas Come From, says that, and I quote him, innovation does not come from giving incentives. It comes from creating environments where ideas can connect, unquote. Which is why organizations like Naval Innovation Indigenization Organization, NIIO, that we formed in 2021, work hand in hand with industry to accelerate technology development. We talked about IDEX, and I want to tell you that the IDEX scheme as a technology incubator has seen its allocations jump 3 times in the last 2 years. And finally, the integration, which is the ability to work with the industry to bring together cutting-edge technologies across domains and develop a whole greater than the sum of its parts. Now, this convergence approach platforms different technological capabilities into force multipliers, where artificial intelligence enhances maritime surveillance, where quantum computing enhances naval communication, and where advanced materials revolutionize ship construction. I'm sure you are aware that technology, which is galloping at the speed of thought, is the glue that brings together cutting-edge capabilities for India to protect its interests at sea. To give an understanding of what technologies can do and why they are crucial for us, we have released suitable roadmaps to inform the industry about our requirements. Some of the niche, disruptive, and cutting-edge technologies that elude us today include the propulsion systems on our ships and submarines, aero engines, strategic underwater capability, high-end sensors and weapon systems, hypersonics, and large uncrewed systems, just to name a few. I'm aware that our R&D labs and industry are working at realizing these capabilities at the earliest. You would also be aware that while the nature of warfare has remained the same over centuries, the character of warfare has changed rapidly and continues to do so. Firstly, the lines between war and peace are increasingly blurred. Secondly, the commercial technologies are democratizing warfare, making it available to non-state actors. And finally, we are moving into an era of mass precision, where highly accurate capabilities and in large numbers both remain important for us. We also know that non-traditional threats, such as acts of terror, can quickly spiral into a wider conflagration and conflict. Use of non-contact warfare, along with space and cyber domains, to wage a conflict with no ceasefires is a reality. In this new paradigm, the industry has to see itself at the front lines of national defense. Our ability to absorb technologies at a rapid pace, translate them into combat capability, build at scale when called upon, what we call surge, and constantly innovate and adapt will define our collective security. So we may not be wrong in saying that national security no longer begins only at borders. It also begins in our R&D labs, in our factories, and in our firewalls. So to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, the maritime domain shall remain critical and central to our journey towards Viksit Bharat 2047 for the reasons which I mentioned. This has been acknowledged at the highest echelons of the nation. In an atmosphere where India's security is threatened by myriad challenges, the Navy's partnerships and industry is crucial to develop requisite capacities and technologies that would enable us to tackle the challenges of today and tomorrow and safeguard our national maritime interests anytime, anywhere, anyhow. I would once again thank the CII for giving me this opportunity to interact with you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind, Shamno Varuna.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite...
All right. Yes, all right, viewers. So we just heard there the Navy chief speak there at the CII event and saying very, very clearly that India's economy is dependent on the seas and India has a very rich maritime heritage. Stay tuned, viewers. We'll be right back. We are live and breaking.
विमल में गुलिस्तां की ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुले तो जी ललचाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की इस जुबां में खुद को ऐसा डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबान कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं ना? विमल, बोलो जुबां केसरी।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
I have seen what it takes to report from the front line. Accuracy, urgency, courage and responsibility. At Public School of Journalism, you will be trained for all that reality. It's not theory, it's...
Summer is here. Is your home ready for the heat? Keep your roof cool and your home comfortable all summer with Roof Cool and Seal. पसीना मत बहाओ, बर्जर रूफ कूल एंड सील लगाओ।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने। We don't just get you the headlines, we report on them. We get information from the highest level of sources. We get you news from the men in uniform, from those on the front. At Republic School of Journalism, you will learn how real reporting is done on the ground and in real time. The RSG Diploma course begins on June 30th. If you want to lead the story, start here. I have seen what it takes to report from the front line. Accuracy, urgency, courage and responsibility. At Public School of Journalism, you will be trained for all that reality. It's not theory, It's live learning inside a working newsroom from day first. If you want to report the truth when it matters the most.
A major diplomatic flashpoint erupts as the United States gears up to revoke visas of Chinese students. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced the move on social media, stating that students with links to the Chinese Communist Party or those studying in critical fields will be affected. The statement has sent shockwaves through academic and international circles, with fears of mass expulsions and rising geopolitical tension. Rubio called it a necessary step to protect national security, hinting at concerns over espionage and intellectual property theft. Thousands of Chinese students in science, tech, and research may now be under direct scrutiny. The Chinese government has not yet officially responded, but experts predict a strong diplomatic retaliation. This latest move marks a dramatic escalation in the ongoing US-China standoff, with education now at the center of the battlefield.
I'm Abhishek Billa, based in Bangalore. The Nationalist Collective is an incredible initiative where we can all come together and develop solutions at an unprecedented scale. I'm completely and unconditionally committed to the growth of our nation and securing the future of our youth. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
विमल में गुलिस्तां के ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुले तो जी लग जाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की जुबान में खुद को ऐसे डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबान कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं? विमल, बोलो जुबान कैसी?
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
I have seen it, what it takes to report from the front lines. Accuracy, urgency, courage, responsibilities. At Republic School of Journalism, you'll be trained for that reality. It's not theory, it's live learning inside a working newsroom from the day one. If you want to report the truth when it matters the most, RSJ is where you begin. Course begins on June 30th. Apply now.
I don't just report from courtrooms on verdicts, I decode them. From breaking news to complex legal verdicts, every
Summer is here. Is your home ready for the heat? Keep your roof cool and your home comfortable all summer with Roof Cool and Seal. पसीना मत बहाओ, बर्जर रूफ कूल एंड सील लगाओ।
I have seen it, what it takes to report from the front lines. Accuracy, urgency, courage, responsibilities. At Republic School of Journalism, you'll be trained for that reality. It's not theory, it's live learning inside a working newsroom from the day one. If you want to report the truth when it matters the most, RSJ is where you begin. Course begins on June 30th. Apply now.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Very good afternoon. You're watching Live and Breaking at 1 p.m. I'm Ashwarya Kapoor. Here is a look at the top stories that we are tracking this hour. Air Chief hails Operation Sindoor, says India has given a stern message to Pakistan.
अब जब भी बात होगी केवल आतंकवाद पर बात होगी, पीओके पर बात होगी और किसी दूसरे मुद्दे पर पाकिस्तान के साथ बात नहीं होगी।
Rajnath Singh recalls India's new war doctrine, says India will engage in talks with Pakistan only on POK. Pakistan's Pahalgam link exposed mastermind Saifullah seen at a public rally in Lahore with Hafiz Saeed's son. Operation Langra continues for day 2. Encounters in Hapur, Mathura and Kaushambi. Delhi police to deport illegal Bangladeshis. 160 people to be deported today from Hindon Air Base. In Kuwait, AIMIM chief Owaisi says Pakistan must be brought back to FATF grey list. Top story, Pakistan's role in the Pahalgam terror attack has been exposed yet again. This as a mastermind Saifullah Kasuri was seen at a public rally in Pakistan's Lahore yesterday for the first time. His open appearance reignites concerns over cross-border terrorism. And on your screen are the visuals of the rally that was held in Lahore yesterday, where Pahalgam mastermind and Speaker Provincial Assembly of Punjab shared a stage in Lahore. Pahalgam attack mastermind Saifullah Ahmed Kasuri and Malik Ahmed Khan, Speaker of the Provincial Assembly of Punjab, shared the stage at the rally. Also seen in the rally was Lashkar Chief Hafiz Saeed's son, Talha Saeed. And now we learn that the rally was called by Lashkar on the anniversary of Pakistan's nuclear test. Pakistan's stands exposed yet again. Pakistan's role in the Pahalgam terror attack exposed yet again. Mastermind Saifullah Kasuri seen at a public rally in Pakistan's Lahore. And not only that, our colleague Gursimran is now joining us live for more details. Gursimran, what details you can give us about this rally that was held in Lahore yesterday, where the mastermind Saifullah Kasuri was seen and also he shared the stage with the Punjab Province Speaker?
Yes, this video is from yesterday evening, that is on the 28th of May, when on the day of Yom-e-Takbir that the Pakistan observes and celebrates as the anniversary of Pakistan's nuclear test that was carried out in 1998. That rally was called in by Lashkar-e-Toiba, and that has the attendance of the prominent Pakistani political personalities, which exposes Pakistan, that how Pakistani politicians are giving a cover to the terror groups. This rally has been attended by Talha Saeed, who is son of Lashkar Chief Hafiz Saeed. Along with him was the mastermind of Pahalgam terror attack. It is Saifullah Kasuri, who was there in Kasur area where the rally was being held. And the shocking presence was of the Speaker of Pakistan's Punjab Provincial Assembly, that comes from the Pakistan Muslim League Noon, that is the party of Shehbaz Sharif and Nawaz Sharif. And Malik Ahmed Khan was there. He was sitting right next to the Saifullah Kasuri, which shows that how Pakistani political setup is giving the patronage, because it is the PMLN government in Punjab as well as the federal government, that is the national government of Punjab, that Pakistan, that is also from the Pakistan Muslim League, that is headed by Shahbaz Sharif. So how can someone expect Pakistan to act on terror when they are sitting with the masterminds of a drastically terror attack, and that too after the Operation Sindoor? So this is one together a message from the Pakistan also that they will continue to sit and rally behind the terror groups operating from their land. They are not going to budge. They are not going to actually do some concrete things. So does that there is a visible action on the terror infrastructure. But what Pakistan is doing, they are standing firmly shoulder to shoulder with the terror groups, and this rally of Lashkar-e-Toiba that has taken place in the Kasoor area of Lahore late last night, yesterday, this is a evident proof that how Pakistani political system is giving and the political establishment is giving a cover to the terror groups and is standing shoulder to shoulder with them, and also exposes the Pakistan.
Right, Gursimran, thank you so much for those details on that big story. Meanwhile, crackdown on the most wanted criminals continue under Operation Langra. Now, 4 encounters in different cities of Uttar Pradesh have taken place. In Hapur, sharpshooter of Lawrence Bishnoi gang has been killed in a police encounter. Also an encounter between police and criminals in Kaushambi. 25,000 rupees bounty on the criminal who was injured in the encounter. Also an encounter between Mathura police and 4 vicious criminals. All have been arrested. So UP police's action on the criminal, most wanted criminals are continuing. Operation Langra continuing. Crackdown on the most wanted criminals continuing. 4 encounters in 4 different cities of Uttar Pradesh.
उत्तर प्रदेश अपराध मुक्त के लिए ऑपरेशन लंगड़ा चलाया जा रहा है। कल देर रात लखनऊ यानी उत्तर प्रदेश की राजधानी में एक मुठभेड़ होती है। अपराधी को ट्रेस किया जाता है सर्विलांस के माध्यम से, और वह अपराधी जिसने कुछ दिन पहले ही रोडवेज बस कंडक्टर से उसने उनकी मशीन और पैसा छीन के भागा था 3 सहयोगियों के साथ। ऐसे में जो पहला सहयोगी था पीयूष, वो पहले ही गिरफ्तार हो चुका है, और यह जो गौरव कनौजिया था अपने दोस्त के साथ फरार था। और कल पुलिस ने उसको ट्रेस किया, और इसी सड़क पर आप देख सकते हैं कि ये जो सड़क है ये आलमबाग से निकलती हुई ये सड़क है, और ये सुनसान इलाका है। रात में 12:30 बजे के करीब उसको पुलिस पकड़ने की कोशिश करती है, और उसने पुलिस के ऊपर फायर किया, और पुलिस ने अपने आत्मरक्षा में जब गोली चलाया तो कहीं न कहीं जो अपराधी था गौरव कनौजिया वो घायल होता है। और घायल हो के देखिए यहीं पर ये देखिए चूना लगा हुआ है, आपको एक इंसान, लेटे हुए इंसान का एक शक्ल दिख रहा होगा, एक चिन्ह दिख रहा होगा, चूना डाला गया है। चूँकि रात में बारिश हुई और सारा जो प्रमाण था वो बह गया है, और एक बूंद खून मैं दिखाना चाहूँगा कि ये देखिए खून का एक बूंद शायद ये दिख रहा है। तो ऐसे में यहाँ से इसी जगह से घायल अवस्था में गौरव कनौजिया को ले जाया जाता है लोक बंधु हॉस्पिटल में, उसका इलाज चल रहा है। अभी डीसीपी सेंट्रल गए थे उसका हालचाल जानने के लिए। आप देखिए मौके पर जो एसएचओ हैं वो यहाँ पर आए थे, यहाँ पर पूरी तरह से लिखा पढ़ी इस लोकेशन का करके गए हैं। पूरा यहाँ पर उन्होंने एक प्रकार से डायग्राम इसका पूरा बनाया है कि किस लोकेशन पर है, कहाँ है, क्या है। तो ये सारी कानूनी प्रक्रिया पूरी करके एसएचओ ये जो आलमबाग है वो जा रहे हैं। जो अपराधी जो पुलिस पर फायर किया था, अब देखिए वो किस तरह अपने जिंदगी की भीख मांग रहा है। मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ कि ये देखिए ये है, क्या नाम है आपका भाई साहब? गौरव कनौजिया। तो आपने छिनैती किया था? शुभम ने किया था। शुभम जो भाग गया? हाँ शुभम भाग गया। एक साथी तुम्हारा पहले ही जेल में बंद है? जी। तो तुम लोग 3 लोग थे घटना में? जी। जो बस में तो आप लोगों ने घटना किया था? जी। तो आपको कुछ समझ में आया कि उत्तर प्रदेश में इस तरह की हरकत करने का क्या अंजाम होता है? जी। अब भविष्य में ठीक से रहेंगे या कैसे रहेंगे? कुछ सबक मिला? ठीक से रहेंगे। ठीक से रहेंगे। तो देखिए क्या स्थिति है इनकी। अभी ये युवा हैं, इनकी उम्र कितनी है? कोई उम्र नहीं है, 26-27 साल के होंगे। कितनी पढ़ाई लिखाई हुई है? 9 तक। 9 तक? 10th नहीं पास हो? इसीलिए इस तरह की लाइन में आप उतर आए हो। उम्र कितनी है आपकी? 19 साल। 19 साल? सिर्फ 19 साल? जी।
Our colleague Jatin is now joining us live from Hapur in Uttar Pradesh. Jatin, we understand now the most wanted, one of the most wanted criminals, and he belonged to the Lawrence Vishnoi gang, has been killed in an encounter. Tell us more about this operation by the Uttar Pradesh police.
बिल्कुल देखिए, पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश में इस तरीके का ऑपरेशन चल रहा है जिसको ऑपरेशन लंगड़ा भी बोला जा रहा है। इसमें अपराधियों पर कार्रवाई की जा रही है, खासतौर पर वो गैंगस्टर जो लगातार दिल्ली, एनसीआर और वेस्टर्न यूपी और पूरे यूपी में क्राइम की गतिविधियों को अंजाम दे रहे हैं। हापुड़ में भी देर रात एक एनकाउंटर हुआ। एनकाउंटर में लॉरेंस बिश्नोई गैंग का जो शार्प शूटर है नवीन कसाना, उसको ढेर किया गया। तस्वीरें मैं आपको उस एनकाउंटर स्पॉट की दिखा रहा हूं। ये रोड है जिस रोड से जो नवीन कसाना है वो आ रहा था, और उसके बाद ये जो रिज एरिया है यहां पर उसका एनकाउंटर जो है वो किया गया था। जो जानकारी मिल रही है कि यूपी एसटीएफ और दिल्ली पुलिस की स्पेशल सेल का वो एनकाउंटर हुआ है। हालांकि पहले नवीन को सरेंडर करने के लिए बोला गया, लेकिन शार्प शूटर नवीन ने पुलिस पर फायर करना शुरू कर दिया। जवाबी कार्रवाई करते हुए पुलिस ने भी जवाब दिया, और जिसमें गोली लगी है नवीन कसाना को, अस्पताल उसे ले जाया गया जहां पर डॉक्टरों ने उसे मृत घोषित कर दिया। नवीन कसाना की बात करें तो हाशिम बाबा गैंग से जुड़ा हुआ था। हाशिम बाबा जो कि दिल्ली एनसीआर में बहुत एक्टिव है और लॉरेंस बिश्नोई गैंग के लिए भी काम करता है। हाशिम बाबा का राइट हैंड था नवीन, और लॉरेंस बिश्नोई गैंग के लिए दर्जनों क्राइम की जो वारदातें हैं उनको अंजाम दे चुका है। 20 से भी ज्यादा एफआईआर नवीन कसाना पे दर्ज थी। 2 मामलों में उसको सजा भी हो चुकी है, जेल भी वो जा चुका था, लेकिन पिछले काफी समय से फरार चल रहा था। चाहे वो दिल्ली पुलिस हो, यूपी पुलिस हो, लगातार नवीन की तलाश कर रहे थे। लोकेशन उसकी हापुड़ में मिली, जिसके बाद इस एनकाउंटर को अंजाम दिया गया। इसी तर्ज पर चाहे आप लखनऊ की बात कर लीजिए, गोपीगंज की बात कर लीजिए, गाजियाबाद की बात कर लीजिए, तमाम ऐसे इलाके हैं जहां पर ऑपरेशन लंगड़ा चलाया जा रहा है। मकसद सिर्फ इतना कि गैंगस्टर जो अपने गैंग को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं, युवाओं को रेडिकलाइज कर रहे हैं, पैसों के लिए उनको अपराध की दुनिया में दाखिल कर रहे हैं, उनको एक मैसेज देने की कोशिश, इसलिए ऑपरेशन लंगड़ा चलाया जा रहा है।
Absolutely. Thank you so much for those details there. And on to the other big story, AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi, who is part of the all-party delegation led by BJP MP Bajrang Panda, said that Pakistan should be put back on the FATF grey list to curb the funding of terrorist groups. He claimed that terrorist organizations are being trained in Pakistan and are trying to create unrest in India. Owaisi also pointed to a photo showing a US designated terrorist sitting next to Pakistan's army chief, saying that it shows clear links to terrorism.
So the best thing now which the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Kuwait government and the Bahraini government, we have requested them when the delegation had met that they must ensure that Pakistan must be brought back in FATF grey list. That is where we will be able to control this terror financing of all these terrorist organizations. And do you know that when this person was made the field marshal in Pakistan, a US designated terrorist called Muhammad Ehsan was sitting right beside the field marshal. So this is complete. He's a US designated terrorist called Muhammad Ehsan. And there are photographs him shaking hands with this field marshal. So there is a clear-cut evidence of Pakistan's involvement. These terrorist groups are prospering over there. They are being trained over there, and their whole task is to destabilize India, to create more Hindu-Muslim riots in India.
We have breaking news coming in Air India Express Chennai incident case. Air India Express has not given in writing till now to the DGCA and have informed that telephonically that it was not the pilot's fault and the incident happened due to crosswinds. However, the crew of the flight complained that it was the pilot's fault and it was because due to steep descent. Our colleague Varsha is now joining us for more details. Varsha, what more can you give us, details can you give us about the incident, because it was a narrow escape for those passengers in the Air India Express flight. What is the DG saying? And we understand that Air India Express has so far not given in writing any details of what happened.
Exactly, and this is a huge blunder from the side of Air India Express, we can clearly say, because the protocol clearly says if any such incident happens in Air India, and it was a Singapore-Chennai bound flight, it took off from Singapore, landed in Chennai airport yesterday only, 200 feet just above the Chennai runway, there was a steep descent from the side of the pilot, and there were immense adverse weather and the crosswinds which was seen in the Chennai, and after that also, pilot didn't turn back to any safe location, but yes, he was in touch with ATC continuously. Nothing about the steep landing has been given yet to the DGCA. The authority, the proper look into it could be done. The investigation could go on. But yes, we have been told that the few of the crew members and the passengers, while landing, clearly complained about it. They clearly stated that it was pilot's fault. The winds were high, and also the weather condition were not that good. It was the adverse weather condition, and after that also pilot didn't return. In fact, he did a steep descent. He could have done a proper descent, but the descent was not the accurate. But right now, all information to the DGCA has been told by Air India Express only telephonically, not in writing about any of these has been given. And this is not how the protocol in the aviation ministry or in this sector clearly works. If any such thing happens, the DGCA, which is the authority, has to be informed about this situation, about this, about what happened during the descent, who was the pilot, about the proper one-on-one minute-by-minute update of the landing has to be given. But in this case, nothing has been happened, and the investigation from the ministry could be further seeked in the Air India Express matter, because there were 180 passengers on board. However, no one was injured. But yes, there were several who clearly stated that the descent was not accurate. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much there for all those details there. And viewers, we have breaking news coming in a significant operation. The Border Security Force successfully foiled an infiltration attempt by a large group of Bangladeshi nationals along the India-Bangladesh border in South Salmara Manchar district of Assam. BSF troops maintain vigilant surveillance, spotted a suspicious movement from the Bangladeshi side and challenged the intruders as they attempted to cross into the Indian territory. So a significant operation by the Border Security Force there, foiling an infiltration attempt by a large number of Bangladeshi nationals. So Border Security Force there successfully foiling an infiltration attempt by a large group of Bangladeshi nationals along the India-Bangladesh border. And this happened in South Salmara Manchar district of Assam. They spotted some suspicious movement from the Bangladeshi side and challenged the intruders as they were attempting to cross inside into the Indian territory. But this attempt by the Bangladeshi were foiled by the Border Security Force. And this happened in Assam. Remember, Indian government is carrying out an operation to ensure that the migrants do not enter the country. And this incident has happened along the India-Bangladesh border in Assam. The BSF troops maintained vigilant surveillance. Akhil, our colleague, is now joining us for more details. Akhil, what details you can give us about this very important operation that has been carried out by the Border Security Force in Assam? Now, this was a large group of Bangladeshi infiltrators who were trying to get inside the Indian territory. What details can you give us?
Well, absolutely. If you see, several people try to infiltrate from the side of New Salmara, the south region of the Salmara district in Assam. What has happened that the BSF team, the vigilant BSF team, basically found out that there were some people who were trying to infiltrate into the Indian border side, and after that they tried to stop them. And during that operation, what we have seen, the brief altercation took place. After that, they have been moved back to the Bangladesh side. So if you see in that region of which basically crosses approximately 262 kilometers of Indo-Bangladesh region in the Assam part, what we have seen that the BSF, the Border Security Force, has basically foiled the attempts made by those Bangladeshis who are trying to cross towards the Indian side. And earlier, if you see what we have seen that in the month of November 2024, the MHA has shared a guidelines, a sustained campaign, and in that campaign, what we have been seeing that several governments, state governments have basically trying trying to curtail and trying to find out and identify those people who have illegally entered through several routes, several donkey routes in India. And what we have seen that if you just talk about the national capital, what we have seen that recently, just a day ago, Delhi Police Southwest District team has basically identified and deported back 88 people from the national capital region. So another attempt was being made by the security forces in the national capital across different states. Even if you talk about UP, what we have seen that several people have been identified. Those people who have come from Bangladesh through illegal routes have been identified and deported back. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Akhil, for getting us all the details there. And on to the other big story, international story now. US President Donald Trump is intensifying his campaign against Harvard University, demanding a 15% cap on foreign students and accusing the institution of disrespecting America. Now, this marks the latest chapter in a prolonged dispute between Donald Trump administration and the Ivy League institution. Here is a report.
President Donald Trump once again targeting Harvard University, calling for a drastic reduction in the number of international students admitted, proposing a cap of 15% down from the current 31%, also demanding that Harvard provide the administration with a list of its current foreign students.
Look, Harvard has been a disaster. They've taken $5 billion plus. $5 billion. Nobody knew that they were making this kind. If we didn't do this, we would have never found this out, Pam. They're taking $5 billion. And I'd rather see that money go to trade schools. And by the way, they're totally anti-Semitic at Harvard, as you know, and some other colleges too, in all fairness to them. And it's been exposed, very exposed. And I think they're dealing very badly. Every time they fight, they lose another $250 million. Yesterday we found another $100 million. And they have, a fund, an endowment, $52 billion. All right? They get a lot of that from the United States. And I think it's ridiculous. I think everyone's coming up to me saying, we love the idea of trade schools.
This adds to a growing list of confrontations between the Trump administration and Harvard. His administration has frozen over $2.6 billion in federal research funding earmarked for the university. Also suggested stripping Harvard of its tax-exempt status. Harvard has filed lawsuits challenging the administration's directives, asserting that they violate constitutional rights and academic freedom. Critics argued that these actions undermine the global reputation of United States higher education and may deter international students from pursuing studies in the United States.
Time to take a break. Coming up ahead, Operation Langra continues for day 2. Encounters in Hapur, Mathura and Kaushambi. Also coming up ahead, Delhi police to deport illegal Bangladeshis. 160 people to be deported today from Hindon Air Base. All that and much more coming up ahead.
असम का अभिनंदन है, एक और जलपाईगुड़ी का सौंदर्य है, दूसरी ओर कूच बिहार का गौरव है। आज इसी समृद्ध भूभाग पर मुझे आप सबके दर्शन करने का सौभाग्य मिला है। साथियों, आज जब भारत विकसित राष्ट्र की ओर बढ़ रहा है तो बंगाल की भागीदारी अपेक्षित भी है और अनिवार्य भी है। इसी इरादे के साथ केंद्र सरकार यहां लगातार इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, इनोवेशन और इन्वेस्टमेंट को नई गति दे रही है। बंगाल का विकास भारत के भविष्य की नींव है और आज का दिन उसी नींव में एक और मजबूत ईंट जोड़ने का दिन है। कुछ देर पहले हमने इस मंच से अलीपुरद्वार और कूच बिहार में सिटी गैस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्रोजेक्ट का शुभारंभ किया है। इस प्रोजेक्ट से 2.5 लाख से अधिक घरों तक साफ, सुरक्षित और सस्ती गैस पाइपलाइन को पहुंचाई जाएगी। इससे न सिर्फ रसोई के लिए सिलेंडर खरीदने की चिंता खत्म होगी, बल्कि परिवारों को सुरक्षित गैस सप्लाई भी मिल पाएगी। इसके साथ साथ सीएनजी स्टेशन के निर्माण से ग्रीन फ्यूल की सुविधाओं का भी विस्तार होगा। इससे पैसे की भी बचत होगी, समय की भी बचत होगी और पर्यावरण को भी राहत मिलेगी। मैं अलीपुरद्वार और कूच बिहार के नागरिकों को इस नई शुरुआत के लिए बधाई देता हूं। सिटी गैस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का ये प्रोजेक्ट सिर्फ एक पाइपलाइन प्रोजेक्ट नहीं है, ये सरकार की योजनाओं की डोर स्टेप डिलीवरी का भी एक उदाहरण है। साथियों, बीते कुछ वर्षों में भारत ने ऊर्जा के क्षेत्र में जो प्रगति की है वो अभूतपूर्व है। आज हमारा देश गैस आधारित इकोनॉमी की तरफ तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहा है। 2014 से पहले देश के 66 जिलों में सिटी गैस की सुविधा थी। आज 550 से ज्यादा जिलों में सिटी गैस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नेटवर्क पहुंच चुका है। ये नेटवर्क अब हमारे गांवों और छोटे शहरों तक पहुंच रहा है। लाखों घरों को पाइप से गैस मिल रही है। सीएनजी की वजह से पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट में भी बदलाव आया है। इससे प्रदूषण कम हो रहा है, यानी देशवासियों की सेहत भी बेहतर हो रही है और जेब पर भी बोझ कम पड़ रही है। साथियों, प्रधानमंत्री उज्ज्वला योजना से इस परिवर्तन में और गति आई है। हमारी सरकार ने वर्ष 2016 में योजना शुरू की थी। इस योजना ने करोड़ों गरीब बहनों का जीवन आसान बनाया है। इससे महिलाओं को धुएं से मुक्ति मिली है, उनका स्वास्थ्य सुधरा है और सबसे बड़ी बात, घर की रसोई में सम्मान का माहौल बना है। 2014 में हमारे देश में 14 करोड़ से कम एलपीजी के कनेक्शन थे। आज ये संख्या 31 करोड़ से भी ज्यादा है। यानी हर घर तक गैस पहुंचाने का जो सपना था वो अब साकार हो रहा है। हमारी सरकार ने इसके लिए देश के कोने कोने में गैस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नेटवर्क को मजबूत किया है। इसलिए देश भर में एलपीजी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटरों की संख्या भी दोगुनी से ज्यादा हो चुकी है। 2014 से पहले देश में 14,000 से भी कम एलपीजी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर थे। अब इनकी संख्या भी बढ़कर 25,000 से ज्यादा हो गई है। गांव-गांव में अब आसानी से गैस सिलेंडर मिल जाते हैं। साथियों, आप सभी ऊर्जा गंगा परियोजना से भी परिचित हैं। ये प्रोजेक्ट गैस आधारित अर्थव्यवस्था की दिशा में एक क्रांतिकारी कदम है। इस योजना के तहत गैस पाइपलाइन के पूर्वी भारत के राज्यों से जोड़ने का काम हो रहा है। अब पश्चिम बंगाल समेत पूर्वी भारत के अनेक राज्यों में गैस पाइप से